Hey, what do you do for work, dude? Like,
Videographer.
You're a videographer. What are you like working on?
Full-time videographer. So like I work with like schools across Adelaide to help them like get better enrollments for their school, and I help them with their social media, which is like my full-time gig.
Dude, great.
I studied 3 years at uni doing that.
Nice. Dude, I owe you a massive apology because.
Oh, why?
Because I always saw when you were in the diary room, I always saw like videographer in the card down the bottom, like on the lower third, and I'd be like, "What are you talking about? He just makes YouTube videos. That's not a fucking videographer." But no.
Welcome to It's Time to Go, a Big Brother Australia podcast. I'm joined here with my co-host Ben Myers and today's guest, Allan and Kieran.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
What's up?
Whoa, Allan just went really quiet. That's the quietest I've heard Allan in this call so far.
Yo, I'm here. We're here. We got here.
Finally.
When Allan goes quiet, you know something's about to go very wrong. That's what I've learned.
I know things are about to go down.
Exactly.
No, thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. We've got two of the biggest gamers from this season.
The play too hard, too fast gang, I call it. That's what we call it.
That's it.
The play too hard, too fast
gang. We came to play a game. Anyone that's going to go there for some bullshit kumbaya, let's make friends for life. Let's get into deep conversation. Dude,
not us.
Get out. Like, the door's that way. Like, I'm trying to get to
out
the
of
end.
the house.
Well, the playing too hard, too fast meant you guys didn't get the win, but you were both definitely one of the most entertaining ones in the house.
I was going to say big names, two of the biggest names of the series, regardless of the fact that you didn't last long. You didn't go long at all in there, Allan. Unfortunately, we missed you. I feel like we saw so much in such a short period of time. But the rest of the season, it was just like, where's Allan?
Allan!
I said to Allan, if he made it to top 10, it would have been hilarious. Me and him in there, just like manipulating and going through. It would have been great TV.
Would have been a much different show. It really would have
been. It would have been, because we had a plan, me and Allan, on the first couple of days. We saw the boys as a huge threat, the boys being Daniel, Matt, and Xavier. And we said to each other in the green room, like, what they didn't show is in the first 15 minutes we were in the game, me and Allan, we run in and we're chatting, and Allan comes up to me, he goes, "So Kieran, are you a strategist?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm here to play the fucking game. Meet you in the green room later." Then we all went like in our beds, pretended we went to sleep, and then we heard that everyone was asleep. We pissed off to the green room and just bitched about everyone, and I didn't show it. I'm like, "Are you serious right now? Like, what is going on?"
That's the stuff that we want to see next season.
Exactly.
Big Brother producers take tips, take notes.
No, I think it was maybe the first 15 to 20 minutes. You see the cheese platters, and like we're eating the food, and I'm eyeing everyone, and I said to Kieran, I was like, "Yo, I'm fucking watching you. I know what you're doing. I like it. Meet me when everyone's asleep. Like, let's play."
It's like what?
Yeah, Allan was one of the first people to like kind of twig that I had a secret mission, I reckon, because he kept me doing all those handshakes, and he was the one I was worried about. I knew no one else would pick onto it, but I thought Allan would be the one that'll screw me over with this.
Because it was after when I came in, and then I think the next person after me, I was like, wait a second, this secret handshake, that's probably his thing. And then the next one, he kept doing it. So I was like, dude, what's his thing? And I was like, oh, dude, secret task.
So you caught onto it, but you didn't say anything to anyone?
Well, I said it, but everyone's like, oh, yeah, they're probably not going to do secret task this year. It's a reboot.
They were like, they didn't think it'd be too early. They thought it'd be too early to do something like that. Yeah, they thought it'd be too early to do something like that. It's never too early.
Never too early.
No, Kieran, do you feel like that secret task on night one kind of fucked with your game a fair bit?
Kind of, because there was actually something in that, guys, that you didn't see. After I did the nickname, the high five, and the handshake, the massage, and all that crap, my final task was to do an Oscar-worthy toast in front of the entire house where I had to cry real tears, right?
Yeah.
And I did it. So I got up in front of everyone and said, I want to raise a glass to the 2020 Big Brother housemates. And I then paused and started to get really emotional and was like, I've had to deal with bullying throughout my life, and it's so great that I'm in a house with all these amazing supportive people, and I full on burst out crying.
And then
everyone started huddling around me being like, "Are you okay?" Now, I scanned the crowd throughout that, and Allan's there like, Bro, we've been here for 15 minutes.
Dude, I'm literally, when that happened, I saw Laura and I was like, dude, the guy's cooked. Like, it's been half an hour. Like, what's going on?
So that was part of the challenge. They actually asked you to do that. Okay, so why?
So the reason for that was because I'd mentioned probably bullying. And Australia would go, oh, he's using bullying. But I wasn't even using it. Like, I have been bullied in my life. So I was taking that raw emotion from those scenarios and putting it into this
and
performance.
Putting the tears into
it. Exactly, and it was beautiful.
And now the thing that
it was a piece of work.
Didn't mention that, like, so Kieran didn't mention that, like, probably the bullying happened years ago versus, like, right now. Okay. So maybe they didn't air that, and that's okay. But then what happened after that was when people realized it was a secret task, it was already on. It was like, oh my God, can't believe he'll use the B word. Yeah. Oh my God, that's a reason to get him out. Yeah. And I'm like, well.
Everyone full on felt betrayed. And that's why in the edit, people were like, wow, the rest of the housemates, they didn't seem really impressed that you'd managed to pass the secret task. Like, no one was really getting around me hard. Yeah. The reason for that was, guys, is because they were so shocked that I would go to those limits and in front of everyone to get through a challenge. So they were all brutally shocked that I'd gone that far. So that was interesting. So to answer your question, it probably kind of did fuck with my game, but that was the one way I actually wanted to enter the house. I said to producers in like the lockdown a couple of days before and my parents before going in, I want to be the first in the house. I don't want to be the last, and I want to have a secret mission on night one. And I got all that. It was beautiful. So I was very happy with how I went into that. Yeah.
Well, you were the first one that went in. Angela was the last one on the first night that went in, and she was the one who, in the edit, they showed her toasting the whole group. So, do you think they left it out because it was just like, I would have rather have seen that toast, much rather have seen that toast?
No, that was part of the task.
So no, Angela's toast that occurred. Big Brother said to her, you need to do a toast to kind of fuck with me, because then I had to say to Angela, whoa, I'm the person doing the toast. And what you guys didn't see was, I said to Angela, yeah, can I do the toast? And she's like, no, I'm doing the toast. And I said, okay, well, I'm doing the toast after you.
So Angela's saying this toast, and then out of nowhere, this young YouTuber is like cutting her off, and I'm like, dude, the guy.
Who do you think you are?
Like he just wants to get a word in. I'm like, holy shit! And then he does the whole speech and the cry, and then everyone just like, wait, what?
Like, if I was the housemates, I would have gone, holy fuck, I didn't expect this. Like, the way it all went down and how dramatic I was with her, all the other housemates should not have expected. So they would have been really.
Dude, it was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah. Even when the door, so when Kieran passed that secret task for the whole house, and then you see the doors open, then we can run into the bedrooms. Kieran and I were like, dude, this is Big Brother. Where's the secret token? Where's the secret pass task to like secure you to like week 3? Like, we were looking for clues. Like,
we were looking throughout the entire first couple of days. Yeah, first couple of days it was like, yeah, we've got to secure it.
You should have been immune the first vote just for doing that fucked up task.
Correct.
Yeah, and I got no reward from that. Look, I opened the bedrooms for everyone, but there was no individual reward for me.
They're going to give you the bedroom eventually anyway.
Yeah.
So what I really should have done, guys, is I really should have not done the secret task at all and let everyone sleep outside. Yes. That's what I should have done. That's what I should have done. That would have been a big fuck you to everyone. And Australia actually probably would have liked me better because I would have been stirring the pot. But I didn't do it.
But it's like,
that would have been amazing.
And if they had found out that you had that secret task and you threw it intentionally, it's like, well, they're going to dislike you either way.
Yeah, they would have found out for sure, because they would have done the same thing that they did with me when I was like, Kieran's passed the secret task. The next morning, they would have gone, Kieran has a secret mission, and he threw it, pretty much. So, yeah. I would have been up for nomination either way.
And I always say this, like, in the Big Brother house, you're doomed if you do, you're doomed if you don't. Like, exactly right. If Kieran had done the task, which he did, and everyone got salty, if he didn't do it, everyone's like, oh, he's not a team player. Dude, we're not there to fucking join your team. Like, we're not there to, it's not a team thing. Like, no team spirit. There's no I in team.
True. And that's what I was saying to Allan the other day, guys. For next season, I really hope we get people in the game, like me, Allan, Angela, even Garth, who played a really strong game.
Yeah, Garth played a pretty good game.
Just people that are actually in there to win $250,000. There were a lot of people in this house this year that were there to, Angela says she was there to go on a holiday, but Angela was just saying that in the first week. There were genuinely people that went in there to sit around and make friends. And me and Allan were looking around like, this isn't Kumbaya, the social experiment. This is Big Brother. What's going on? Like,
and it's weird. If they're going to run with this show, if they're going to run,
Yeah.
if this is the reboot, cool. If it's a strategic game, cool. But it's like you've got to have a house full of contestants who are playing that game, not the old game.
Yeah, exactly
Totally.
that. And the old game's so different to this game because the old game's really the social experiment on a social level, whereas this one is just such a game mentality because you're voting everyone else out in the house that you're living with versus the Australian public.
Yeah.
And I feel like, obviously, being like second season next year, every year the show grows. So I guess contestants learn from people's mistakes, people's like how they play the game, and they will know what will work in their favor.
And that's what I'm telling housemates for this season, because I've had heaps of people reach out to me on Instagram and Facebook, and I won't say who, of course, but they've been like, yo, I'm close to being chosen, or I'm in like the final selection for this season. And I've said, is there any tip? I said, don't go in there to fuck about and not win $250,000. If you do get in, you're being chosen. Probably even more people. There were 53, I think there's 53,000 people that applied for our season. I'm assuming there'll be way more for this season now that the show's been on air. If people do get chosen, my one piece of advice would be go in there to actually play the game. Because me, Allan, Angela, we were sitting around some days being like, wow, this is just so hard to maneuver ourselves within this because people don't want to talk strat. There's one big thing in there, unspoken rule. If you talk about the game, you're done.
Why? Why was that?
Dude, because it's literally,
so stupid.
Literally on day 2, the second that anyone knew someone was talking about the game, like they were in trouble. Like even Kieran on day 2, day 3, day 4, like every day that I was in the house when Kieran was there, Kieran was in trouble. Like it was literally like, oh my God, he's playing the game too hard. And I'm thinking, and then obviously like when they're having the conversation with me, I'm like, oh yeah, he's playing the game. And I'm thinking, well, what the fuck? We're here to play a game. Like
what they should have shown with you that really annoyed me was they painted you as the villain in your episode. What they should have shown you as is you doing that with people, and then Allan would come back to me and be like, yo, so-and-so's onto you, so-and-so's coming up.
I would say to Kieran, okay, so when the new people came into the house on day 4 in the morning,
I
literally said to Kieran, I was like, dude, this is your biggest chance in your life to switch this around, make friends with them. Because the other people, like the other 12 people in the house, they don't like you. They don't want a bar of you. These 4 people are going to save you. So, but you better start schmoozing and doing your thing, but don't make it too Kieran, if that's possible.
Don't make it too Kieran, of course, yeah.
Did anyone at any point say clearly, like, hey, guys, this is a game. Do you know that we are playing a game?
Allan, we said it so many times. And one point when Allan wasn't, well, after Allan left, I got Danny out of the game on a lie. And what you didn't see on television was that the whole house sat me down and called me out and were like, you're a liar, you're a cheat, you've gotten Danny out of this game. And I literally sat there on the couch, and it was the most angry I've been in probably my entire life up there. I said, you're all a bunch of fucking morons. You signed up for Big Brother and you don't want to fucking play the game. You're all fucking morons. And I said to them, you better get me out next eviction because I'm coming for all of you.
And it took him 7 more attempts.
And he's alive!
Anyway, and I love Ian to death. But if he was actually playing the game, he would have nominated me next eviction because I would have gone home. But because I knew Ian might have won a challenge, that whole next day I was buttering him up, being like, oh man, look, I just really want a third chance by that point. I just really want a third chance. Like, I want to get to know people. And he felt sorry for me and didn't nominate me. And then the next eviction after that, Ian went home. So, like, you got to play the game. You got to play the game.
And then if you think about it, Ian left because Kieran was up against... Well, sorry, Ian was up against... No, sorry. Angela was the one that was the deciding... Like, obviously...
Angela was in the bunker at that point, yeah. So, of course, guys, I'm sitting out after I escaped that eviction. I'm thinking I'm this great strategical mastermind. I'm this legend that's avoided another eviction. And then Angela comes back in the next day and is like, no, I heard what you were saying. I'm the mastermind. You are the fool.
Pretty good impression. That was not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah, it was good.
It just felt like the whole time, like you both used to, Marissa and Angela, there was a bit of a group there, but you guys could never, like, find your footing. And then there was this other big group. And
correct. Yeah, and really, like, yeah, Jane and Ben, like, when I think about it now being out of the house, it's it is a numbers game. You're either in that group, like the alpha group, and then you're with, like, the misfits, and whoever wins, you can't have power unless you win. The second you win that challenge, you have this, like, this newfound power, you get to obviously choose who you want out of the house. And, you know, Marissa only found Angela.
Hey, Allan.
Yeah.
Do you want to sing it?
Marissa! Oh my God, for a second I was like, wait, what the fuck's going on?
What are you talking to?
I was like, dude, is my microphone off?
Continue.
So, Marissa only found Angela maybe day 7, day 8. Like,
Marissa
the first couple of days
was on cruise
Marissa
control.
was in so much hot
She was
water
on
because
cruise
she was
control.
very to herself and she didn't stick to any sort of like specific side and stuff. So it was actually
Marissa
quite
was
hard
also
for
playing
Marissa.
the long game as well, Alan. Remember how she said to us after she got out of the house, she said, I saw you guys playing the game from day one, but my plan was just to sit back and observe the group for the first week.
Yeah, and she did.
Where those cliques were, and then move in on the group that I wanted to be in. Because I don't think that first night, Marissa wasn't even up with us, was she, in that green room? She wasn't even in our Jungle 5, was she, Alan?
No, she wasn't. Oh, that's right, the Jungle 5.
Jungle 5.
We didn't know about the Jungle 5, please.
The alliances of all alliances. So literally day 1, night 1, Kieran and I were already in an alliance.
Yeah.
This guy here, Kieran, gets so excited, invites Talia, blonde haired.
Talia comes into the green room. No, tell the story. Talia comes into the green room, we're chatting. I met her at audition. She seemed cool. We're all good. Yeah. Then Xavier comes in too. We're like chatting. Then Angela comes in. I'm like, oh, this is a really cool group. Let's jump into this and make this a solid 5 alliance. So going into the first challenge, I've got backing. Because look at me, guys. I'm not going to win a challenge. I knew I was never going to win a challenge. So I thought, look, if I've got these guys around me and I've got Xavier, who's like a guy that might do a bit of sport, Talia, who actually won the first challenge, I was bringing them in. Then what was, the next day there was this whole block that was never seen on television between me, Talia, and Zoe. And it was a he said, she said scenario.
Massive.
Me, Talia, and Zoe were in like this argument triangle. And that was probably one of the reasons why I was nominated at the first eviction ceremony. And I still believe, guys, in that first episode where you see Talia go, I'm nominating Kieran because he's being too strategical. I reckon producers would have said to her, she would have gone, I'm nominating Kieran because I don't know if he's telling the truth in this situation. But producers would have already known at that point that they were never going to use the me, Zoe, and Talia drama in the show. So they would have gone, no, we don't accept that nomination. You need to give us another one. Because they did do that. There were some stupid nominations. For example, I remember someone told me that like they tried to nominate someone because of like a stupid reason. And Big Brother would be like, no, that's too stupid. You can't nominate them for that reason.
You remember in like the old series where like Big Brother would be like, oh, that's not acceptable. Please have another reason. You need 3 points, 2 points. So because this one is very fast paced, they won't show that. So you never really know what the actual reason is.
Yeah. That's why I was nominated for first show, for sure, that blow up that occurred. There was like, it was a whole blow up, and
No, but even before that blow up, I literally said to, like, so when everyone went to sleep, I literally said to Kieran, I was like, dude, do you not realize there's 5 people in our alliance when it's just meant to be me and you? And he was like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. I got too excited. I'm like, excited? No, dude, pull it together.
The reason I wanted the 3 other people in was because I thought of that first challenge. We have a higher probability of being safe if we've got 5 in our group.
Yeah,
and then the Jungle 5, I reckon it lasted 28 hours probably.
Yeah, it did. The next day, dude. Like, honestly, because like Talia, and to be honest, like when I was in the house, I actually got along with her, had so much fun, full of energy. Yeah. Other people experienced something else different, but when I was in the house with her, she's very strong-minded, very competitive, very just hot-headed. So she's
very social. She's good at bouncing around the house and being social, but she is a bit hot-headed as well,
Yeah, she just wants to, like, when she just sees red, she will just go for it. And you can't even hold her back because during that whole, I guess, altercation with Kieran and Zoe, she was going to storm off and have a go at Zoe. I'm like, dude, calm down.
Alan comes
and while she's running off, I'm like, Kieran, dude, this is good for us. This is good. Like, she's going to be like,
reconsider this alliance with her because this is not going to end well.
This just seems like so much more drama than we ever saw the whole time.
So much more.
And because of all this, guys, I said to Alan the night before the show aired, I said, I'm the villain. I'm going to be the dickhead that's portrayed as the guy that's the villain in the first 4. After episode 1, I'm sitting back and Mum goes, what do you think of it so far? And I go, I've got to ring Alan. I ring Alan and go, I'm being painted as the victim in episode 1. What is going on with this edit? Literally. I was like sitting there, I was like the poor boy that had been nominated already. And then that happened for like 3 episodes, the first 3 noms I had. Then Angela did the whole crying thing. I kept ringing Allan being like, I'm getting the best edit I've ever had. What's happening here? It was crazy.
They knew what they wanted from the show. I think that's we've spoken to a few people now, and a few people have kind of been like, yeah, they've kind of made what they have for the footage. They could have gone one way, they could have gone another.
Correct. I think they'll make the footage dependent on actually who leaves. Like, if I had stayed on for a few episodes, they would not have. Like, the style and the tone would have been very different. So
if Allan stayed on, they would have shown me and him in an alliance for sure. They would have shown 100%. All that backstory. And the thing
is, like, people need to understand this is literally filmed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and everyone goes into the diary room. You do your whole you talk about the day and stuff. They're going to choose the best parts to make the best TV show. So yeah.
And as we said, this is different to last time. Last time they were doing an episode every 24 hours. This time they knew exactly how the show ended. So they knew that, like, Kieran, you made it through like 7 nominations without getting evicted or something. So I guess there was a story to be told there about this guy who just kept on being put up.
Yes.
I guess that's the difference.
Yeah, exactly. And I was saying to Allan as well throughout the whole. I don't think I would have had as much fun if I wasn't as nominated as many times. I would have been really bored. So for me, I would have just been like, yeah, shit. So I was really happy it turned out like that. It was good.
And it was a lot of, obviously it's the most stressful thing for anyone being nominated. And especially for someone like Kieran, who's just watched this from day dot, wanted to, be this strategical mastermind and whatnot.
Yeah.
He, honestly, every time he was nominated, he was running around the house like Casper the Ghost, just no, just vote them, don't. Like, it was just, he was running around like a madman.
Like episode 1, I tried to pin Zoe and Laura against each other. I went up to Zoe, I said, I've got the votes, let's load it on Laura. I went up to Laura, I said, I've got the votes, let's load it on Zoe. And I went up to Allan and I said, there's one word that this eviction is going to bring: chaos. I'm spreading chaos throughout this house.
Yeah.
He said, she said, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be the Chinese whispers and spread across the house. I wanted to create distrust throughout the house entirely and spread a nuclear bomb throughout that would eventually land on Laura, which it did.
It did.
Good.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I remember seeing the footage of the morning after, and you have the conversation with Casey in the kitchen.
Yeah, correct. So,
here we go.
Was that? Yeah, that was the morning after. That went on a lot longer.
No. The morning. Okay, so that was episode 2, but that was on day 5.
Oh, okay, fair enough. You might not have spoken.
Correct. Yeah, no, we did. So we spoke, probably that conversation went on television for about 4 minutes, and it went way longer in real life and was way more aggressive to start off with, 100%.
Oh, dude, she was so cooked. Like, literally the whole conversation, when I break it down, all she kept saying was, I don't think you're here for the right reasons. And it's like, what? Like, what reasons are you here for? You can't, you're not the boss of this. Like, it's not up to you to decide who's in it for the right reasons. But I will say, when she did say that, everyone, including myself, actually did jump on that, because you almost need a reason to vote someone out. Like, even though I didn't believe what the hell she was saying, I would agree with that, because I'm thinking, oh, I'm on your side. Oh, whatever you say, yes. So, like, the whole thing's a game.
And Allan, if I hadn't, for that episode, if I hadn't gone up to her and apologised and said I'll improve, which was all bullshit, by the way, I never had any intention of changing my game, I definitely would have gone home, because she was leading the whole Kieran out parade. And if I hadn't gone around and admitted my wrongdoings to everyone and played the poor... I told Allan this. Xavier actually told me about it, what I was doing, and now I've labelled that. My whole strategy throughout the show was called the wounded dog strategy.
Yep.
So every time you're nominated, you run around and you say, poor Kieran, poor me, I'm going home. But look, really, he's more of a threat than me, but poor me, I've been nominated again.
Yeah.
And it was really worked well that I never won any challenges, because no one could think that I won any challenges. It was just beautiful. So that
was there the first time you were up, which was like night 1 that we saw on television was night 1. Yeah. Surely you were, and I would be as well if you'd put in all that effort to get there. You were genuinely anxious then, weren't you?
Shitting bricks. I was so nervous.
I've never seen so many bricks come out of someone. It was literally, it was insane. It was insane.
And when I say in the eviction room, I said, I guess I'm a dead man walking, might as well blow it up. I was fucking pissed at that point. I thought, fuck this. if I'm going home, I'm going out with a bang. They can all go fuck themselves. If I'm going home, I'm going to try sink the Titanic,
dude,
so all the passengers can come down with me, and I'm going to aim the iceberg at Laura and try and bring everyone down with me. And then I stayed, and the ramifications for that were terrible. So, yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
literally, so in the eviction room, so we're literally... Kieran's dropping bombs left, right, and center. Yeah. Everyone's just like, dude, this guy is insane. Let's get him out. Oh, but wait a second. Let's not get him out because he's not really a threat. Let's get Laura out. She came second in the challenge, blah, blah, blah. And then when Laura left, Kieran's just like, oh my God, guys, I love you. Thanks for saving me. We're like, I love you. Get away from me. But
I was a social pariah. It's like I had gonorrhea and they didn't want to catch it. That's what it was.
But bro, the more that you stayed, it was almost like the less likely to go you were, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. And I've said that to people as well. The more I stayed in the game, the more they tried to carry me towards the end because they thought we could knock him off 6th place, which they actually did in the end. And thank God for producers and thank God for the White Room because, like, I walked away with something. And that was a really good twist that occurred.
Oh, and then...
Allan had actually seen the White Room and all that occurring on the UK version. He'd seen it a few years ago. But I hadn't. So if I'd gone into the White Room with that knowledge, I would have gone, there's cash prize coming at the end here. I know what's coming. So I'm going to go for it and have a go. So, yeah, that was my plan.
But actually, to give a bit of context of what I meant by, like, the whole confrontation with Casey and Kieran, when she kept saying, oh, you know what, I think you're here for the wrong reasons, blah, blah, blah. Why that conversation came up was because Kieran was hiding the fact, obviously the first couple of days, he never mentioned he was on YouTube, he's a YouTuber, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay.
That was never mentioned until it was day 3, day 4, when rumors were saying, oh, he's a YouTuber. People were salty AF. They did not like it.
They're
like,
oh,
he shouldn't be
here.
Views,
to subscribe.
Yeah, for the views, he's here for like the clout, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, well, wait a second. He can be here because it's 2020. Oh my God, is it a crime to be on YouTube? Like, I'm sorry. Just because you're in Perth, like, can you not be on YouTube?
And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that what nearly every contestant is doing now after the show? Building an online following?
Correct.
Everyone wants to...
Nah, but it's just like a lot of people... And this is like no hate to Casey or anything, but it's like...
No hate. We don't hate to anyone.
Never.
We don't want any hate.
Complain.
Especially to Casey.
Hey, maybe she was just stressed in the house. Maybe she was stressed and it all came oozing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and fair play to her, because if I was in her position and I'd found out in the same situation that was occurring, I'd be like, oh, but no, not really. I would have done that. I would have loved it. Let's be real. I would have loved that.
I didn't think having a YouTube channel would be such a big a deal.
Well, no, because the thing was, if I'd come out on day one and said I was a YouTuber, people would have been fine. But I think it was the fact that I was trying to hide it. For example, Talia was actually at auditions with me, and she sat behind me at auditions, and we had a great conversation. Then, of course, she rocks up to the house and was like, well, I hug her, and she goes, oh, I know you from auditions, and I've seen your YouTube videos. And I'm like, don't mention the YouTube videos. And then she kept it quiet. And then Sophie rocked up on day 2, and she'd been watching my driving videos for about 3 years and was like, oh my God, I love your driving videos. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't want that mentioned. And then it probably took about, a couple more days after that. And then Matt was sitting at the table and he goes, oh my fucking God, you're the kid that can't drive. And then it all came out from there. So really, it was the whole thing about that. And the reason I didn't want that was because of what the ramifications of that was. As I said to Allan, I don't want people thinking I'm in here for clout and I'm just his YouTuber. Because I am a YouTuber and I love doing it, but that's not why I'm here, and that's not why I'm here to play the game. And
I always say, like, even if that is a reason for why someone wants to go on, that's not a crime. Like, that's not. Well, why is that a bad thing?
Exactly. Yeah, and we've all benefited from being on the show with our socials.
Correct.
And stuff, so that's going to come with it. But I didn't want to make it that obvious, being like, "Hey, I'm a YouTuber. I've had a viral video like this." Compared to and
it's also very smart on Kieran's like gameplay too from day one, because you don't want to tell everyone your whole life story, like where you come from, blah blah blah. Like, everyone's playing a game. Like, there are so many people in the house that said they were non-smokers. Don't do this. Don't do that. Like, dude, they do everything. So it's like, it's like, even my day one, like for my entire duration in the house, like, I never told people like my real job. I'm in corporate sales. It's a cut.
Oh yeah, I was trying to get that out of Allan for days.
I said like I'm in like IT. It's like a boring job.
Yeah,
you know,
the old
it's very
IT.
just like quiet. Yeah.
His age on me too, and I was like, "Hang on, you said you were this age." I actually didn't find out how old Allan was until I got to Sydney. And
I left the house.
Yeah. What did you say you were, Allan?
So what happened was like
25 to 28 to 24.
Yeah, it was like 24. It was 28. Then it was
up.
31. It was all kind of mixed up, but. Yeah,
He's actually-
the way I found out was from the Daily Mail article that went out on us. It was Allan Liang 30 catches up with Kieran Davidson 21 and Sydney. I'm like, wait, you're 30?
I thought you were gonna.
He was like 26.
I thought you were gonna drop that he was like 40 or something.
He's had a whole
probably.
Facebook to makeover. That's what's happened.
Correct.
Damn, someone's
Asians
lying
don't
in his
age.
house.
Crazy. Would you guys ever apply to be on the show, you two?
Probably not. Probably not. It's a no for me.
About it?
I can't.
Ben,
answer.
you would, wouldn't you?
I can't answer. No,
Why not?
You can't answer.
No, they reached out to me. And,
2020, maybe 2022 for Ben.
I don't think they're taking contestants from Melbourne because it's starting in like a few weeks.
Correct.
That's
And
incorrect.
for
No, that's
all we
incorrect.
know, you
That
guys
is
have
incorrect.
COVID.
That's incorrect.
No, that is incorrect. That is incorrect. I have a confirmed source as of 9 p.m. last night that says
Whoa.
they are taking contestants from Victoria, and I know a couple of people that have been reached out, and yeah, they're getting exemptions.
And actually, look, I don't know all that information, but the thing is, look, they probably can take people from Victoria because it's all about social.
Well, it'd be
distance.
fair. All the
14 days.
Victorians wouldn't tune in. They'd be like, we wanted to, for example, look at Daniel, who's in the final three. He's from Victoria, and all the Victorians are getting around him. If you don't have a Victorian contestant in the show, Victorians will be like, what the fuck, this isn't fair. And like, if you're willing to quarantine, like the person I was speaking to last night, one of some of the questions production were asking were like, you willing to quarantine? You willing to do all the stuff? They're like, yeah. So I'm sure that Endemol will get government exemptions for people from Victoria to be on the show. It's
Yeah, I
simple as
thought.
that. So okay, so cut it out of the edit. So they've reached out to you. Let's be real.
Someone messaged me being like, "Hey, and it was literally just one message from a producer on Facebook being like, "Hey, if you're thinking about applying, do not bother, cause we're scouting you, whatnot."
Really?
What the fuck?
And then
wow.
that was the last I heard.
They were like, wow, don't apply.
They were like, you'll hear from us, and then I had.
Oh,
Oh yeah. So by the way, they say don't bother applying, blah blah blah, because they already know what you bring. So that's not a negative.
No, but now I'm.
They haven't even contacted.
But
They
now
haven't even contacted many Melbourne people. Trust me, I've got all my hands in the fucking honey pots this new season. I know most people and everything.
Ben Myers, intruder.
Yeah, actually, exactly.
alert.
No, me and Allan, we want to be the newcomers on day 4 dropped in for this new season.
Correct.
That's what we
Drop
wanna
us
do.
in a cage. Let's play.
Yeah, we're in a
Coach
cage.
them.
We want to come in. And
You guys can coach them on how to actually play.
Correct.
I've been telling people that have been DMing me on Instagram being like, oh, so do you have any tips? I've been like spilling the tea, being like, don't do this, do this. Because I want to see people make some good television. Because
and we get so many messages. Like all of the messages are like, oh, hey, what should we put in our video? What are they looking for? Blah, blah, blah. And as how we told everyone, just be yourself. Because the thing is, producers 100%. Want to just know you. And actually, a lot of people on the show, well, not a lot, but there was 1 or 2 people that actually got caught in, and they've asked them, well, we're seeing a different to audition. Yeah.
And I've got a source that said that all of the people, like they had us all on a piece of paper and we all looked amazing, and then we all went into the house, and on like day 4, a producer was like to someone, they all seem great on paper, but then there are only a couple that are actually living up to their expectation. That was the rumor going around. Yeah. And that's what actually leaked to the media. So
I heard that, but it's weird that of like 50,000 people that applied, that was like of the talent pool. Right. It's like they with a solid. I'm sure they've got a solid casting team. How do you fuck that up?
Correct, exactly. And there are so many stages with the casting that you'd think. Yeah. Like, wow, like, there's so many, I reckon, Allan, there'd probably be about 5 or 6 stages with casting.
At least, even from like the first video, when you get that first call, you're frothing, you're like, oh my god,
oh my god.
Oh wait, no,
into cardiac arrest when I got that call, yeah. But no, dead set, that's interesting because, they said that, well, you'll have to cut this out, but then they said that they aren't taking people from Melbourne. That's the last you heard.
No, that's not what I heard. So they said that to me. Then I hadn't heard back, so I was just like, maybe they're not taking people from Melbourne. So
I get you. Okay, yeah, it was an assumption. Okay, no, I have confirmed they definitely are.
There you go. Well, I don't know what happened.
I have the exclusive right here. They definitely are.
Around Australia.
I mean, this is why me and Allan, we're going to start a podcast, me and Allan, because
correct, the Kieran and Allan show.
Yeah,
we better be the first guests on that thing.
Of course, hello.
Of course. We're starting it in the next couple of weeks, so I'll get you on.
Fantastic.
And what were you going to ask?
No, Allan, I just wanted to quickly hear more about your eviction. We heard about Kieran getting nominated on the first night. Garth comes into the house, puts you up. We hear at the reunion show it was because that he was during your auditions or something?
Yeah.
We never knew that on the show.
Correct. So what happened was I actually met Garth at my auditions way back in, I think it was November, December when I first went to like the group auditions.
Yep.
He literally he was in my group, like the colors or whatever, and he sat right next to me, and he had told me everything about his life, what he does, his job, who he lives with, his kid, how he will play the game. And it's Allan. I'm an information leech. All I do is just take. I never give back because, I'm so selfish. But all I do, that's what I do. So I just take information from people. And he had told me everything. So literally fast forward to day 4 when he rocks up to the house and, they had the secret task of obviously being unnoticed by the housemates. And I missed it by 1 second getting water in the middle of the night. And then the next morning I see him and I'm like, holy shit, it's you. And and to me, this is probably me being so unaware, but I kind of thought, well, wait a second, I know you, I've met you, let's play, let's be a team. But he thought the other way. So then he thought of I guess a pretty good strategy to tell everyone, oh guys, I'm a little bit older, I'm a little bit wiser, trust me on this. I met him at auditions. Allan told me everything about his gameplay, let's vote him out. And he had actually told up into the last 1.5 hours before I was evicted.
It was 30 minutes, Allan. It was 30 minutes before. It was all on me 30 minutes before, and then he flipped.
Correct. And before we get to that, literally, so this is just not me, Allan, saying, oh, I don't need to campaign, I don't need to beg people. It's because people literally told me the whole day, every single person said, oh, Allan, you're fine. You don't need to campaign. Don't look like Kieran. Don't run around the house like Kieran. You're fine. We like you. So I'm thinking, well, so maybe, I don't need to campaign. Next minute, I'm literally on, the couch. And Sonia's asking me on a scale of, 1 to 10, how confident am I? And me just being Asian, number 8's a lucky fucking number. So I'm going to choose 8. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to choose 1 or 2 because I don't want to let the housemates know that I'm, I think I'm very unsafe, because then you might actually vote me out. But little had I known that Garth had already did his whole campaign to everyone in the house to get me out. And look, it's a game, no hard feelings. He had to do what he did to get me out.
Yeah.
And Garth came up to me and said, Kieran, tonight the vote is on Allan. Allan's going home. This is half hour before I go into the eviction, and I've been hearing my name all day. And
whole day.
There's no way. I'm for 7 hours I've been hearing people come up to me being like, I'm voting you. People literally come up and be like, I'm voting you, you're gone. I'm like, okay. So I had my bags packed, ready to go. I'm sitting on the couch. I'd hugged Angela goodbye. I said to Allan, it's been a great ride. I hope you make top 3. Literally, this is before the whole eviction.
Yeah.
And then as the eviction creeps on and Sonia keeps asking these questions about Allan, how confident do you feel? I'm like, is there something else going on here? Maybe Garth is actually telling the truth here. Maybe I'm actually staying in the game. And he said to me, I wish I didn't have to do it, but he said to me, Kieran, vote Allan and you'll stay. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to latch on to every opportunity I can.
He had said that to Kieran maybe half an hour before we were all like, oh, hey,
20 minutes easy, before we'd gone in. Yeah. Because he didn't want me, because he thought I was very close with Allan, and because he thought if there was any way, shape or form that I could let Allan know that he was in trouble, I'd do it pretty much because we were friends. So he waited until the very last minute to be like, the vote's changed, vote Allan. No.
Correct.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, at least one of you stayed, you know what I mean?
I know.
Well, correct. And no, one more thing, but it was so funny on Instagram, every couple of days or weeks in the house, when I got out, I checked my Instagram and Allan was in my DMs. Every few days She was like, "Yes, you've survived another day."
Okay, so literally, I had stalked him, tracked him down, found his account.
Yeah.
And because me being like the stalker 101, I literally looked at who he was following. And when I saw you follow Talia, I was thinking, what the fuck? Everyone's so fake. Like everyone knows everyone. Like I didn't realize like they had followed each other or whatever. Like prior to getting to the house, but they didn't know each other. But I had literally messaged Kieran every 48 hours if he didn't see the message, and then I just realized, oh wow, he's still in the house.
Oh, nice.
So, tell them what you did with Marissa, Allan. That was hilarious. What you did with Marissa, the phone.
What do
call.
you mean?
When you rang her mobile and it would go to a voicemail, and you go, "Okay, Marissa's still in the house." Remember how you did that?
How'd you find a number?
So Kieran's number wasn't on like public domain, but Marissa being one of the best makeup artists in Sydney, because that's her business. She's got like her own like business number and stuff. So I'm thinking, well, God, I know her name, so let's call her. So I'll be calling the number literally religiously every night at 10:30 p.m. because that's when you'll get back to the hotel, from the Big Brother house. I'll call it and it'll just go to voicemail. Hi, it's Marissa Rankin, blah, blah, blah. Leave your number booking. And up until day 30, day 32 was when it rung. I'm like, holy shit, she's out of the house.
Yeah.
Yo, Allan, you are definitely one of the people who, when you're talking to a girl that you like, you are like checking their like Instagram and their Facebook to see when they're active
dude,
and shit.
I'm gonna watch you all day, all night, dude. Don't even try on me.
I love that. So good.
I'm the same. I'm the fucking same. Don't get me wrong.
Nah, actually, you know what? If look. Stop being sneaky. If you're not being sneaky, I don't need to check up on you. So it is what it is.
Allan, if you were like checking up on people outside the house, when did you start to find out things that happened inside the house?
Not so much. Like people were very by their contract. No one really talked about what actually happened and stuff until.
I got out of the house and I spilled the tea the minute I got out to you.
Like no, but not every facet of everyone knew what happened, but it wasn't like
the details.
I got out of the house at 11 p.m. that night, and me and Allan had a conversation till 4 a.m. about everything that went on. I filled him in on everything. Yeah.
That is.
I told him about the white. He was one of the first people I told about the white room, like everything.
True.
No, but I guess Allan, with other people weren't really filling you in.
Well, no. People were, but everyone is so bloody cooked that they don't even their perception is their perception. And I always tell Kieran this. I tell everyone this. Yeah. There's always three sides to a story. There's your story, my story, and then in between, what's the real story?
Yeah.
And I hear all these stories, and because I was only in the house for 5 days, I don't have any qualms or quarrels or any sort of fights or any sort of discrepancies with people. So I'm always hearing two sides to a story. But when someone is just so delusional about what is real, it's just so not what actually happened. And it was interesting though, because you hear all these stories from all these different people and you're just like, wow, really? Is that what you actually think what happened?
Damn.
And the finale, me and Allan were expecting fireworks. I think Angela and Marissa were too. We're expecting this whole thing to kick off, and everyone
it was. But some people were very under the radar because I think they realized that they've been talking so much smack about people, to the press, and they just, I think a lot of people.
Everyone expected fireworks at the reunion.
Yeah, I was hoping there would be. Because I was ready to take some people down, if we're going to be real. Me and Allan were we had our knives out and we were ready to go for it. But then I think the mood was at the tech rehearsal. It was kind of made aware to us, not only from housemates, but from production as well, that wasn't the vibe they were looking for.
Yeah, the producers did say, guys, have fun with it. If there's anything you want to say it. And even Maddie, right before the filming, he's like, guys, look, we're all in this together. And Maddie's a legend. Maddie's one of the honestly, truly, I think he's such a genuine person. And he literally said, guys, we're all in this together.
I feel really bad for him, man.
Yeah, and actually, to Maddie's defense, and even Daniel's defense, when people are like, oh, there was a dummy spit, they're so salty, they're just acting like blah, blah, blah. You guys need to really think about, you're there for 30, 35 days. Of course you're going to be pissed off. Of course you're going to be salty. Of course you're going to think it's not fair because you've gotten so far, and then someone's just waltzed back in, and like I can understand the mentality because I mean it's part of the game.
You go.
I was just gonna say any trip. Like I think about times where I've gone away for like a month or something. It's like an extended period of time, even if it's just a holiday. I'm not even playing Big Brother a game.
Yeah,
it's like you get 2 weeks in, and I'm like, maybe I should have only like gone for 2 weeks. This is fucking emotionally draining.
100%. Yep, I've had that before. Yeah. Well, that kind of wasn't my feeling in the house. I love being in there, and especially every time. Like, literally, I said to Allan only a couple of days ago, I would chop off my left and right arm to be an intruder on next season.
Same. Like, literally, Kieran and I would do anything. Like, whether it be next season, the season after. We just want to play. And the thing is, like, when Kieran and I were in the house, every day, you're literally on cloud 9 because, you're in the Big Brother house. There's so many variables being thrown at you, and it's so much fun. Like, yes, it's mentally draining, physically demanding and everything, but just the experience. And it's been the greatest experience. Like, even though, like we get a lot of positive comments, we still get negative, like hate mail here and there. But
of course.
Like all in all, it's been so much fun. It's the best.
So good. And that's what I said to Allan as well. I feel like not even the whole experience of the show, that's awesome, I was filming it, but even after, when I was in lockdown, me and Allan would ring like every day and be like, I wonder if they're going to show this on the show. Like, we were addicted to the show.
Every day, like seriously, 100%. Since like from the first audition, the first video we've uploaded, in a strange way, this is actually part of our life because the thing is we've lived it, and every day you get asked about it, whether you're at work, you're on the street, you're at Westwood Shopping Town, like anywhere you go, someone will bring it up. So in a way, it's a small part of your life, but it's like part of your life.
And it was interesting. I'm not sure if you had this experience either, Allan, but when I applied and I did the video and everything, and then I went to the audition, there was a moment when I was put in the blue section, which was the very front section, where I was like, fuck me, I might actually have a shot at this. And for example, everything just kept clicking into place throughout the audition process. And like, as we were moving closer, I was like, oh, there's another stage. And I was like, fuck me, this is actually like the stars are aligning with everything.
Correct.
And then when I got the call from the producer being like, you're on, I was like, yep, I kind of knew this was coming. Not to sound cocky, but like with every step that had occurred at that point, I was like, they're not bringing me this far in auditions if I'm not
correct. And actually, to be honest, I feel like a lot of times, not just like Big Brother auditions or like any sort of audition that anyone does in the world, you don't really get a phone call if you're not part of the show. Correct. Like, imagine like, oh, hey, Allan, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, better luck next year. Like, no, like that's just so no. Like they call you, they play it a bit. They're like, oh, how are you? Blah blah blah. And me straight, I'm like, dude, just cut it out. Cut it right out. Tell me I'm in. I've got in. When do I start? They're like,
when I got the call from the executive producer saying I was in, it was like a 10-minute conversation. And for the first 8 minutes, she's like, so how's things been going? What's going on with you? Got to like 5 minutes and I'm like, can you just cut the crap? I've been waiting for this call for 6 months. Am I in or am I not?
Correct. And like the producers there, they're so great at what they do. And also they're actually very caring. So I will say one thing, like a lot of articles were saying that, you know, there's just a lot of like articles out there, but the producers have been the best and they made a great show. It's been the best, and the network has been so supportive.
100%. Yeah.
No, legit. And it was like a big deal. Like, as we said, there was 20 people picked for the first season. You guys were 2 of them. Massive feat. You know what I mean? Like,
the OGs, we were the first people.
We were the OGs,
in. Kieran was the first housemate in, and I was the first Asian in. There's only ever been 5 Asian in the whole history of the show. So
in the whole history of Australian television ever.
Correct.
I have one thing to say. If they do not call me and Allan back for the Allstars version of Big Brother, I will be livid. I will be livid. I would be very annoyed. That's all I'm going to say.
Let's talk about Allstars just quickly, because we've heard from other people that you want to be on it. And we'd love you guys to be on it. How do you think they tackle an Allstars, considering this is a new format of the show? You've got contestants that played a very different game 10, 20 years ago. How do they
So it's very interesting. I feel like the production company is different. It's a whole new format. Allstars now, it won't happen next year. It probably won't happen the year after. It will take a couple of years.
I've heard a rumor it's happening next year. I've heard a rumor it's happening July.
I feel like it's a bit too soon. I feel like you need at least 3 years of contestants. So there's at least 60 people to choose from the pool of like personalities, and then from there, season 4, maybe, I don't know.
You're
like,
not considering though the old housemates from previous.
Oh yeah,
seasons, not on 7. So you've
No,
got
but that's the question, whether you include those people or not.
You know what? It's
honest,
so funny you say
to.
that, Jaden, because I would love to include them because they're household names. Like I love so much that they bring, like, even like Ben Norris, Tahan, you've got Reggie, Sarah Marie, you've got absolute
like,
legends.
oh my god.
And a lot of them, I mean, their game was completely different. I mean, completely different. So their one wasn't really such a game mentality. This one was, you're just strategizing, you're being sneaky, you have to be just...
I'm happy for them to come on your All-Stars if they are up to playing your game.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And I think 7 would be stupid to do an All-Stars and not bring back the people Australia love, because it's instant viewing, rating, instantly. For example, if they advertise that they've got Ben Norris, Tim Dormer, Tahan, Tully, all those people back, everyone would be like, I'm watching this show.
Anna, Game On
Anna as well. Game On
Like, she's a legend in the Big Brother world. A legend.
Reggie as well. It'd be
the Logan twins.
Yes.
The Logan twins.
He'd probably say no, but Fitzy.
Oh, Fitzy, of course he'll say no.
He could make like a cameo.
But the thing is I reckon they'd be stupid not to do that. And I reckon they will.
Now,
I reckon they will.
If like you're a producer and you're looking at your season of Big Brother, I don't know how you guys aren't the top of the list for All-Stars.
Already discussed this.
Already discussed. No, but honestly, like, and this is coming from me, I'm not a producer, but I'm just saying, 2 people who knew one gameplay and entertainment, I don't know how you guys aren't at the top of the list.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm saying
you said it. You heard it here first.
And we were also saying as well, me and Allan at the finale and many other things, I feel like the next season would be really cool if they, I'm not sure if you guys have seen BBUS and BBUK, if they included the veto challenge.
Yes, it needs a veto!
Please!
You guys are going to have to explain this to me. I'm the only one who hasn't watched it.
Okay,
do we have time?
No, Kieran, you say it.
We have time.
Say it.
Veto challenge, I believe, is when the 3 nominated, there's a veto challenge for the whole house. And for example, if you're nominated, you get the power of veto, so you can remove yourself from the block and replace yourself with someone else. Or if you're not nominated and you win a veto challenge, you can switch the votes. For example, say if Alan's nominated, I'm nominated, and Casey's nominated, and say if like one of you guys win the veto challenge, you can remove me off there and chuck in Daniel, for example, which would bring a whole nother element to the show that we didn't have.
Correct.
And would also allow us to get to know the people more, because that would mean that there would be an eviction every 2 days instead of 1, which means every 2 episodes there'd be an eviction, meaning 30 episodes instead of 20. But I think with this new season, what I've heard is that it's going to be longer. For example, our season was only 6 weeks, 5.5, 6 weeks because of COVID. This new season is 8. So we're going to be seeing a lot more people. We're going to be seeing heaps of more character development. And that was one thing with this season that was criticised highly, was that Xavier didn't pop up until like episode 9, and people were like, who the fuck is this guy? And then he was gone by episode 15. So like, it was just like, what's going on? So that would be really cool if we could get to know people more. The format actually goes something funny at the start, a novice challenge, 3 people nominated, and then you focus on the 3 people and how they're either going to go home or survive, for example.
But I do like the idea of this, what is it, the veto challenge or whatever you call it. I do like the idea of a twist that is more in the hands of the housemates as opposed to the producers.
Well, to comment on that...
yes and no, because I feel like whoever wins the first actual challenge for nominations, you get to decide who 3 people you want out of the house. Now, the veto challenge, I think, is very important, because you can't just let that first thing play out, because if it's all about numbers, like, you're going to be out the door. Like, if you can win a chance back into the house, that's just really going to stir the pot. And it's Big Brother. Like, this is a brand new series, and Australia hasn't seen this before. And I feel like, obviously, our series being the first series, you know, it's really going to evolve. Every year they introduce new, like, rules and new sort of gameplay. So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm keen for the future, you guys. 100%. Ben, anything else you want to quickly ask before we wrap up?
No, I'm totally G. We've had so much fun. This was
brilliant.
Yeah, you've all been. It's been a lot of fun. It always is.
Oh, what do you guys think of the other 18 housemates?
Boo! Who are the other 18 housemates?
Who are the other 18?
What other 18 housemates?
Dude, do you even remember everyone that was in the house?
I could list off everyone. I could.
James watched it twice, so.
Should I go in reverse order.
Wait, do we want to go in alphabetical order, order of eviction, or order of entry?
Order of eviction.
Yeah, so it was Laura, Allan, night 3, it was Subong.
Yeah.
Then it was Danny. Am I correct?
No, Talia.
Oh, Talia,
What?
Danny. Maybe my order's off. Danny was in there. Fuck. So, Angela.
Great for me as well. No,
yes!
Angela wasn't that early. She didn't go home sick.
No. That was her fake one.
Oh, fake one. Yeah.
And then it was Ian.
Yes.
And then was it Zoe?
No, I think Garth then Zoe.
Oh, that's right. Because it was
Garth. Oh, that's right. Because Garth after Ian, because apparently he had betrayed their house. Because you can't betray people. Oh my god.
There was Garth. There was Zoe. After Zoe, then it was probably like Shane.
Yes.
Yeah,
Shane, because I was the deciding vote on the Zoe vote, and it kept Matt around, and then Matt targeted Shane.
Was that a good move? Was that a good move?
I'm very happy with that move, to be honest with you. That was my crowning jewel of the whole season, to be honest with you.
I mean, a little bit personal more than gameplay, but I mean...
was not a strategy. If I was playing strategy in that moment, it would have been Matt, but I was like, this is personal, I want to go and see ya.
Fair enough. After Shane was Angela again for the second time. Then Hannah.
Yeah.
Hannah.
Yeah, that's right. Hannah, yeah. And then...
Xavier, Marissa.
Casey.
Then it was Kieran, Sophie. So
wow, look at this.
Hey, did
it was a bit stumbly, but I do remember everyone. And as some people got... What'd you say?
In lockdown after the house, we had trouble doing that list, me and Allan, for a bit there.
Yeah.
We had to work it out. Yeah.
Nah, you guys were a great cast. Quickly before we go, is there anything you guys want to plug? You guys up to anything? Easy done.
That's where you'll find me, and on TikTok as well.
The TikTok, yeah. If TikTok's around for much longer.
Correct.
It will be. Microsoft will buy it for sure.
Allan, anything you want to throw out there?
No, just usual stuff. Instagram, TikTok, Allan _.
Allan.
And then Kieran and I are going to start our own show.
Next couple of weeks. We just got to get Allan to get this mic, and then we're good.
Have you got a planned name for it or anything like that? Or are you just
working on it, but Kieran's trying to whip up something really cool.
What our plan is we think the dynamic of me and Allan is really good, not even with Big Brother related stuff, just general topics. Nice. So we're going to be doing our own podcast, but we're also going to be discussing, obviously, the new Big Brother when it happens next year. Yes. And then I'm going to be doing, a wrap-up, which I was meant to say to Allan as well. I was going to ask him if he could co-host my new Big Brother thing, because I need someone to bounce off. Allan. So that'll be good, yeah. Just both, really. Just anything. It'll be fun. It'll be fun, yeah.
Well, people can find that on your socials. Once again, thank you so much to the both of you for coming onto the show.
Thanks
so much for having us. So much fun talking.
Awesome.
Talking BB.
And for everyone watching this, obviously you guys know our socials. We've got more interviews coming up next week with more house guests. So
I think we're talking to Shane.
I think we got Shane up next. Yeah, we got Shane up next.
Ask him about my cheese toasties. He'll love that.
Cheese toasty. All right, easy done. Thank you both for coming on. Bye to everyone listening. It's been chill.
There you go. Woo! Yeah.